that covers the flood damage and the deeply distressing death of your dear cats. Excellent, excellent. As just a formality, really, I assume you're paying privately. This isn't going to be one of those legal aid cases.
It's legal aid. I can't afford to pay privately. Does it make any difference?
Not at all. If anything, I rather prefer legal aid cases. Vince will show you out.
You call, sir?
Yes, could you show Mr. Catliff and Mrs. Cashflow their coats, please?
It's Cushman.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Thank you so much for your help, Mr. Bullock-Harp. If we think of anything else, may we call you?
Just jot it down on a piece of paper. I probably won't be around much. Hurry up, Vince, come on.
I'll send you the notes of the conference then.
Oh, did it? Right.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. Bloody legal aid sub-story cases. You live on a floodplain, Grandma. You know the risks.
Sir, aren't you even going to ask me?
Ask you what?
Have you noticed anything that isn't the way it normally is?
Hang on a minute, I'll have a look. No?
Vince, I want to go through these invoices with you.
As it happens, Alex, I was talking to Vince.
John, don't. The Adams divorce papers, I spent 10 chargeable hours, I thought, 2.5K?
Yeah, I think they'll wear that, miss. Yeah.
And the Wynne Edwards employment advice.
Oh, yeah, what'd you tell him?
That occasional coughing does not amount to constructive dismissal, even in Wales.
Give me a clue, Vince.
It's in this sort of area, sir.
No.
Charge them £2,000 for the paperwork?
2,000 quid?
Right you are, miss.
£2,000? How much has she earned this month?
Well, actually, I've just done a comparative analysis of all the earnings of members of Chambers. Miss Khan's asked that we look at them at next week's Chambers meeting.
Alex has earned £40,000 this month.
Yeah, it's very impressive, isn't it, sir?
Well, in purely money terms, yes, I suppose so. But she's only been working here 5 minutes.
Well, she's brought a lot of high-paid quality working with her, sir.
You haven't included me on this, Vince. Look, this sheet's blank.
That's right, sir. That's your name at the top, sir.
Oh, I see it's the continuation sheet, is it? Where's the actual readout?
No, sir, you haven't earned any money this month.
Vince, I'm sorry, I've made a mistake.
Oh, I thought so. She's made a mistake.
I've got 2 more sets of papers to invoice.
OK, miss.
Look, I know that being in practice isn't just about making money, but how come she's making so much more money than I am?
Oh, she's very good, sir.
Well, we're both good at our jobs, Vince. I mean, that doesn't explain the disparity.
Well, people just like her.
Well, you could be talking about me when you say that, Vince.
Well, she's got this aura of confidence and youth, I suppose, and she's extremely attractive, sexy.
Well, we've all got that.
Vincent Griffin!
Yes, mate.
You know what's happening here, don't you, Vince?
No, sir, what?
I'm being racially discriminated against.
It's all right, mate. Some of my best friends are lawyers, all right?
Oh, well, discriminated against, then. You say she wants to bring up these earning figures at the next Chambers meeting?
Yes, sir, she's asked me to put an item in the agenda. Cheers, mate. There's me paw print, mate.
Cheers.
Lovely job.
She wants me out. Oh, it's so subtle. But prejudice always is, isn't it? You see, if I'm earning less than her, she'd want to replace me as head of Chambers, not pulling my weight.
Oh, no, sir, I'm sure it's nothing like that.
There's only one way to overcome this sort of prejudice. Vince, I've got to earn £40,000 in the next week.
That's impossible, sir. You couldn't do it. Not unless you did a big personal injury case.
Personal injury case? Well, they're all no win, no fee, aren't they? I thought we agreed it was unsafe for me to do a case based on that.
Well, it's all about risk assessment, so you don't take cases unless you know you're going to win. And when you've won, you get 25% of the money awarded to your client.
Oh, well, it'll mean some minor changes, certainly. You'll have to be nice to the clients, but it's interesting. It's interesting.
So if you wanted to do a personal injury case, I could always have a word with my cousin.
Well, he's a solicitor.
No, so he's a wrestler, but he doesn't tell the police that, obviously.
No, it would take too long to come to court. Surely we've got one personal injury case in Chambers, Vince.
No. Well, I mean, I think the only one's a little factory accident case that Mr. Trippin's taken on.
Well, Hillary's got one.
Yeah, just come in for him from some firm of solicitors. Yeah, surefire winner, but I don't think it's worth much, sir.
Oh, well, that's no problem. If you get the right medical expert, you can get round that. I wonder if Brian Masterson's back in practice.
What, the orthopaedic specialist?
Yes, he virtually invented loss of sexual function as a legitimate claim.
Is that so impressive?
It is when the claimant's only injury was a verruca. Let's check the directory.
No. Sir, could I have a word?
He is back in practice. I'll just write his number down. Just go back, will you?
Sir, I wanted to ask you if...
Not now, Vince, not now. I'm doing a personal injury case.
Many men. Many men. Good evening, Professor Kibblewhite.
Morning, Hilary.
Good morning, John.
Am I interrupting something?
No. It's just doing the Van der Rohe technique.
Oh, really? Well, is it any good?
Well, it helps with posture and voice production. According to Van der Rohe, if you make your consonants harder, you become more resonant and confident, apparently. Shall I stop?
No, you carry on. Well, you surprise me, Hilary. You've always struck me as super confident.
Oh, do you think so? He tells you to picture a point on the wall. Could you just move a fraction? And imagine hitting it with your voice. Hard H, hard T. I'm getting quite good at the T's.
Yes, you are. I actually noticed that. Yes, good. Well, how's work, Hilary? Busy?
No, not really. I've got a personal injury case.
I didn't realise there was one in Chambers. You are doing one, are you? Yes.
It's really quite a...
What, big case? Major injury?
No, it's tiny. Van der Rohe suggests that you pause before the last word in a sentence. It gets people...
Annoyed? Frustrated?
listening. Hard G strengthens the scalenus muscles in the throat. No, I've got the case conference this Thursday. The claimant, Mr. Shearing, works in a fruit canning plant. He fractured a bone in his thumb when a can of spiced figs fell from the conveyor belt.
Sorry. A chill went through me just then. I really saw that can of figs dropping. You made it so vivid, dropping and dropping, faster and faster.
I don't think he's entitled to more than a few...
What, 1,000? Million?
pounds.
You've become rather a hard nut, Hilary.
Have I?
Oh, yes, I should say so. I knew somebody who nearly died when their finger collided with a tin of pineapple segments.
Really? Who?
Jonathan... Del Monte. I was at school with his...
Brother?
aunt. Aunt's brother.
That was a really good pause, John. See, that's what I hope to be able to do, eventually.
Quite frankly, Hilary, I'd be amazed if your client was even able to think about having sex since the accident.
Sex?
Yes, have you got a good medical expert?
Well, I've got a name.
Yes, only I know rather a good chap.
Oh, well, if you don't mind.
Of course. And, Hilary, if you'll forgive a little paternal advice, I think this case is clearly a lot bigger than you've accounted for. There's no criticism in that, but looking at it objectively, I would recommend bringing in a more senior barrister to share the fee, share the workload.
But I don't know anyone.
Surely there must be somebody, Hilary.
My mind's a blank.
Think, Hilary, think. Look at me and think.
Or maybe you could come in as senior counsel.
Well, I hadn't really thought of that. Yes. Well, yes, why not? You persuaded me. That voice is really working for you, Hilary. Why don't you go and tell Vince that I'm on board in a fully and legally binding way?
All right, I will.
I've got garden furniture quicker on the uptake than him.
Sir, can I have a word?
Can't it wait? What's 25% of £150,000?
So, I spend a lot of my Sundays as a football referee.
Do you?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Can bruising your thumb give you cancer? Arguable.
Yeah, it's just a hobby, really, but I suppose it's quite a big part of my life. I'm up to Isthmian Thames Valley Conference League semi-professional Grade 2 level.
Are they?
So I did the ankle.
You got something wrong with your ankle?
Yeah, it's broken, sir, hence the crutches.
Oh, yes. I was going to ask you about that, but, I didn't.
So the thing is, I've been summoned to a disciplinary hearing this Thursday, charged with conduct unbecoming a referee.
It's jolly bad luck.
It's totally trumped up. I was the one who got injured. Sir, I want to ask if you'd represent me at the hearing.
What do you mean?
Well, it's a long-standing tradition at the bar that a barrister will always represent his clerk for free, should he need it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, look, Vince, I'm helping Hilary with the Shearing Case Conference on Thursday.
Miss Garner can help Hilary. She's really very good, sir.
Oh, yes, she is very good. But look, Vince, why don't we offer her the choice?
Good idea. I'll go and ask her.
Yes. Oh, no, Vince, no. I can't have you running around chambers with your ankle. How many times have I told you about that today? I'll go and see her.
Oh, thank you, sir.
No, Richard. Damages payable in 28 days and index-linked. I'll email the settlement document to you within the half hour. If you could fax it to Breachman's and copy the insurers in. Thank you. Bye.
Alex, would you like some sushi?
Oh, thanks, John. I'm a little pressed for time.
Oh, sushi's so quick to eat, isn't it? Yes, I was out getting an egg and cress sandwich for myself, and I thought, what would Alex like for lunch? So I bought the £4.35 sushi. Not that it's expensive at all. Oh, not when you earn as much money as we do in a week. It's nothing. Not even £4.50.
That's very nice of you, John, but I'm a little pressed for time. Do you mind if I eat and work? Was there something in particular you wanted to talk about?
No, not at all. Not at all. Oh, guess what? Vince wanted you to represent him at his referee's disciplinary tribunal. God, I saved you a headache there.
Oh, the sushi is delicious, John.
Oh, guess what? Vince wanted you to represent him at his referee's disciplinary tribunal. God, I saved you a headache there.
Did you know that there is more protein in one little sashimi than a whole pint of milk?
Funny enough, Vince drinks a lot of milk. In fact, I think he was downing a pint of semi-skimmed when he told me that he had his heart set on you doing his case. But I said to him, come on, Vince. Alex isn't Superwoman.
How do you mean?
Well, I told him, I said, she's very good at what she does, but she can't do personal cases for a senior clerk for free, plus her own well-paid work. For goodness sake, she isn't Superwoman.
When you say not Superwoman, what do you mean?
Well, God, I mean, if you listen to Vince, you think there was something wrong with being a perfectly competent, middle-of-the-heap, average barrister like you and me. It's so immature.
Middle of the heap. John, perhaps I should go and talk to Vince about this.
Well, and tell him you're not Superwoman? Well, good. But personally, I wouldn't give him the satisfaction.
Maybe you're right.
How's the sushi?
Excuse me?
1-0.
The claimant, Mr. Shearing, and his solicitor, Mr. James.
Mr. Shearing, John Fullercarp, how are you bearing up? If I may say so, you're looking rather drawn. Well, you're bound to be physically and mentally exhausted. It would be strange if your face didn't bear the ugly scars of your considerable ordeal.
Yes, I'm Philip James, the solicitor from Luckwoods. This is Mr. Shearing.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's the light. Mr. James, of course. You're looking well. Do have a seat. Mr. Shearing, how are you?
Oh, you know, glad to be back at work. Actually, I'm feeling okay.
Are you indeed? Well, that, if I may say so, shows commendable spirit.
Would you like some?
Some
Tea.
Thank you, Hilary.
I wasn't going to sue over this. I just thought fractured thumb, not worth bothering with. It was my wife that saw the solicitor's advert in the local paper. Here.
Suffered an injury, any injury, even a very small one, it may be worth money. Come and see us now to get the large amount of money. See us sue those responsible and others for a lot of money. Lockwood solicitors, come to our offices and we'll get you probably a very large sum of money for you. No disabled access.
Obviously, we'd like to be rather more direct, but the somewhat oppressive Law Society guidelines on advertising means that as a firm we have to pick our words with inordinate care.
Yes, indeed.
Biscuit?
Thank you, Hilary. Mr. Shearing, I've just been having a look at the various items we're claiming for. I'd just like to run through the list with you.
Fine. Oh, I did just want to ask you about the gloves.
Yes, don't worry, we'll claim for those.
No, it's not...
Now, please, Mr. Shearing, we'll get on a lot quicker if you allow me to dictate the order in which we deal with things. First things first. Now, this is a bruising injury to the thumb. Shall we begin with your bedwetting?
I think it's going well, miss.
Shh, quiet.
My colleagues and I agree, Miss Khan, that as there are ladies present, we'd like you to adopt the numbered Isthmian Thames Valley Tribunal Code to cover any expletives used. If I can pass you a copy.
I'm obliged, sir. If I may, I'll continue reading from the transcript of what my client said to the centre half using the code.
Thank you, Miss Khan.
come here, you 4. For you, you 6, 4ing forehead. Oi, 3-4. You know what the 4 I'm 5ing talking about? Mind your 4ing gob, you prize 64343. That's a bookable offence.
Oh, he didn't say bookable foring offence.
No, sir, in fairness to my client, he did not.
Good, good. Do carry on.
Right, so get 4ing 4 off the pitch, you sick mother 4ing 37. Foring 1 hole.
Yes. Dr. Masterson's
Arrived?
Yes, that's right.
Is your colleague actually going to be speaking in court?
No, he's just practicing a technique which makes people notice him.
Right. It's working.
Brian, how are you?
Yes, well, thank you.
This is the claimant, Mr. Shearing.
Yes, no question. In my view, there's no way in which this man's injuries could conceivably have been caused by the accident. He's clearly faking it.
Brian, we're for the claimant.
Yes, it's been a little while since I consulted my examination notes. Oh, yes, I can see. There's a marked deterioration in the thoracic vertebrae and a clearly severe restriction in lateral flexion and extension in the upper spine. If anything, this man is playing down his symptoms.
He's fractured a bone in his thumb, Doctor.
Nonsense.
No, he'll try.
Yes, well, I'm merely giving a preliminary view.
Yes. Well, now you're here, Brian. I suppose it's over to you.
Right, Mr. Sherman. Stand up, will you?
It's Shearing.
Yes. Raise your right arm, then drop it down to the sides. Good. Now, how's this nasty injury affected the little fella?
Well, I can move my thumb all right now.
Yeah, well, that's of minor significance. I want to know why you can no longer satisfy Mrs. Sherwin.
Oh, no, you're wrong there, Doctor. I've no problems in that department. Well, I've had no complaints.
Let me throw a scenario at you. Your wife wants to make love. You enter the stage of foreplay. A minute or so later, you're about to start intercourse, but all you can think about is a can of fix.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen like that.
But what if it did? Every time your wife wants to make love, you become fixated on a cylindrical aluminium container. Closed, sealed, infertile aluminium container. One that falls leaden to the ground, unable to spill forth its fruitful contents.
It's very good.
He's very good, yeah.
Surely if that occurred to you repeatedly, at that precise moment of intercourse, it could become a serious problem.
But that isn't going to happen, is it?
Well, I wouldn't like to say. I can say that with a serious bony injury to the thumb of this type, there will inevitably be severe degenerative changes in the form of arthritic impairment or rheumatic disability.
Oh, no!
Mr. Shearsby, the one thing that will not assist you is miserying to everyone about this.
Brian, with the level of impairment which you, if I may say so, very expertly identified, I think we're talking here about injuries and related losses somewhere in the region of, what, 150, 200,000 pounds?
Yes, very much that area. And might I say how impressed I've been with counsel's and indeed instructing solicitors' ability to grasp what are clearly very complex medical problems.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Was it the right thumb or the left thumb?
The original statement says left.
Yes, I've got left.
Oh, I've got right.
Well, I think we all to agree, don't you?
Well, I don't mind. Left then.
Left, all right,
Yes,
we're
all
saying
right.
that. Yeah, good. Well, the trial should last about a week, and we should be able to get through Dr. Masterson's evidence by the end of today.
And is the doctor free this afternoon?
This afternoon, I'm fairly quiet. I've just got the 6 trials penciled in. I should be able to shuffle things.
Excellent. Oh, you can go now.
And so the last thing you said was enough of that crap.
Correct.
Miss Khan, can you please use the code to cover that word?
Sir, I don't think crap appears in the code.
I think you'll find it between numbers 7 and 9.
Oh, yes, sorry, between bollocks and dickhead.
That's right, just above scrotum.
I'm obliged, sir. I have no further questions.
Henry, what is 25% of 250,000?
Mr. Fuller Carp, Mr. Tripping,
Oh, no matter. Mr. Shearing, ready for the fray?
A bit nervous. But as they say in Doncaster, there's aught to fear but fear thyself.
Excellent. What does it mean?
Well, try not to be scared. Look, there's just one thing I want to ask about. The gloves.
Mr. Shearing, you're about to get something in the region of £150,000. We can get you a pair of gloves.
No, I meant the protective safety gloves.
You can have any kind of gloves. Sorry, what protective safety gloves?
The ones they tell you to wear in the factory. Is it going to matter I didn't have them on when I had the accident?
What?
I don't know, I just forgot. Even though the works foreman tells you to put them on at the start of each shift.
And these protective safety gloves, would they have prevented the injury to the thumb had they been worn?
Oh, aye, they'd stop a bullet, they would.
Would you be so good as to excuse us for a moment, Mr. Shearing? What the bloody hell's going on?
Do you think this is going to affect liability?
If we lose this case, we won't make a penny. Barristers working for nothing. It's unnatural. Disgusting. I wouldn't have any part of it.
Well, there's not a lot we can do about it now.
You just watch me. Mr. Shearing, there was something I forgot in the conference. It was wrong of me, and I really would like to try and make amends.
I don't understand.
Well, going into court and all the inevitable trauma that entails, it could well aggravate your symptoms. And what I'm trying to say, really, is I think we should try and settle this claim immediately.
Settle it? For how much?
Well, I don't know. How does £1,000 sound?
But you said 150.
Well, all right, £150 it is then. And can I say I think you've made a very sensible decision?
1,000. You said 150,000.
Well, why didn't you mention the gloves before, you cretin?
I tried to, but you wouldn't let me.
You donkers of people, you've got an answer for everything, haven't you?
Have you spoken to him yet? What are you going to do?
What am I going to do? I'm not going to be stuck here for days without pay is what I'm going to do.
Court rise.
Yes, Mr. Fuller-Carp.
Very pleased, Your Honour. I represent the claimant in this case, together with my learned friend Mr. Tripping. My learned friend Hughes Trove represents the defendant. This is a straightforward factory accident. Have you had the opportunity to read the witness statements, pleadings, and agreed bundles of documents? I'm grateful. I'll call the first witness.
And so, Mr. Griffin, it is your case that after the initial exchanges, you were attempting to calm tempers and take the heat out of the situation.
That's right, that's my duty as a referee.
Can I possibly show you this photograph? Would you like to repeat your last answer?
In fairness, I did loosen my grip once we'd reached the touchline.
Could we have a short adjournment, please?
Mr. Luckhouse, you are the works foreman responsible for the system of tinned fruit packaging, are you not?
That's right.
Yes, just one question. After telling my client repeatedly to read the notices about protective gloves and to wear them at all times, you would agree with me that it wasn't his fault that he didn't wear them?
Aye, on that day it weren't.
Yes, fine. No further questions.
John, no,
Shut up. Can't you see I'm trying to get through this quickly?
Mr. Luckhurst said...
Quiet. I'm sorry, Your Honour. He's learning how to talk.
He said it was Mr. Shearing's fault.
But don't be so stupid. You're right, he did. Mr. Luckhurst, you agree with me that it wasn't my client's fault that he didn't wear the gloves, that the defendants were responsible for the injury?
Aye, there weren't any gloves available that day. I told the boss, only he didn't want to know. It happened quite a lot. Night shift walked off with them and the firm never had any spares.
So the company were at fault?
Aye, it were an accident waiting to happen.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Luckhurst. Your Honour, I'd like to recall Mr. Shearing.
How do you explain this?
I was administering a caution.
You're supposed to yellow card them, not improvise a castration.
Can we get on, please?
Just stay there, answer only yes or no, and I think I can pull it back. Thank you so much, sir. It's true, Mr. Griffin, is it not, that you deplore violence of any kind?
Yes.
And that this incident is completely out of character?
Yes.
And further, it's right to say that you condemn violent behaviour from anyone.
I have no truck with aggression. If anyone comes yard, man, I'll rip their head off and stick it right up there. Number 37.
Well done, John. Great consonants, by the way.
Yes, what's 25% of... Mr. Shearing. I'd like to take you once more through some of the harrowing effects of this injury.
Ah, well, I'm finding it all a bit stressful, really.
Yes, I'm sure you are, and indeed it is very. Please do take your time. Tell us about the lack of mobility in the hand.
Right, OK. Actually, I'm not feeling so good.
Excellent. No, indeed. How could you be a man who has suffered as you have? Please, in your own time, tell us about the appalling pain in the thumb.
OK, right. Ooh. Oh, excuse me, the anxiety of the trial.
Yes, of course, of course. You're doing well, but don't milk it.
I've got these chest pains.
Yes, try concentrate on the thumb, Mr. Shearing.
There's feeling a tightness in my chest.
Don't be a fool. The chest is the last place anyone would believe the injury spread to.
Ah.
Oh, no, come on. Now you're over-egging it. Get up, get up.
Someone attend to Mr. Shearing.
No, he's fine.
I think he's having a heart attack.
No, he isn't.
Someone call an ambulance. Is there a doctor in court?
Your Honour, yes, but would it be terrible to beg leave to dash? I've got a whiplash trial in Court 6.
I'm stopping this case. This man clearly isn't fit to continue.
No, he is fit. He is fit. Oh, look, you see, he's just winded.
Give him some water.
And so, having accepted Miss Khan's assurances that Mr. Griffin's lapse from his lifelong and deeply held Buddhist creed of non-violence was momentary and provoked, we find him not guilty of conduct unbecoming to a referee.
Thank you, miss. Yes. Cheers, mate. No hard feelings, eh?
We are all pleased to see that Mr. Shearing has recovered from his chest pains. However, for the very minor injury to his thumb, I award the token sum of £300.
What's 25%?
I now turn to Mr. Fullercarp. Would you stand? I find your conduct of this case quite extraordinary.
Thank you, Your Honour.
Extraordinary in the sense of despicable. You have added to Mr. Shearing's anxiety and distress.
With respect, that's a bit strong.
Banging his head against the witness box and repeatedly shouting, "Don't die, Shearing, you bastard, you owe me 40 grand," is utterly unacceptable. I'm fining you £10,000 for contempt of court and order that you pay the money directly to Mr. Shearing. And Mr. Fullercarp, I would warn you against any further repetition of this behaviour.
Yes, Your Honour. Right. You owe me 25% of £10,000, Shearing, you bastard. Well, can we finish this? I've got an awful lot of work to do.
Are you OK, Hilary?
Don't worry. He's only practising vowel sounds.
No, I've trapped my hairs in the lever.
Right, tea. Excellent.
OK, item 7 on the agenda, the relative earnings figures for members of chambers.
Right, well, I have to say, Alex, this is a totally inappropriate item for today's meeting. It's divisive. It doesn't really tell us anything. I insist we don't discuss it this month.
I agree.
You agree?
I'd like to wait till next month.
Oh. Shall I be mother? What?
I'm representing Vince in his personal injury action against the centre half. The other side have already given in. Vince is in for a big payout, and I'm in for 20k. I'd like that included in any comparison with your earnings, Superman.
Oh, sir, you burnt my leg. Well, add it to your personal injury bill.
See you in Chambers again next Sunday, 9:30 on BBC One.